A total of 5,747 new coronavirus cases were confirmed through PCR tests in Nepal yesterday. With the objective of combating the third wave of COVID-19, the government has begun administering the booster dose of vaccines against coronavirus from yesterday. Meanwhile, people have seen refraining to abide by the health and safety guidelines set by the government, which reflects how the public are ignoring the risks and threats of coronavirus. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. Province 2 finally decides on its name and capital after 4 years. Province's name Madhesh and capital Janakpur Dham endorsed with 2/3 majority. Local level polls proposed by Election Commission by mid-May remain uncertain as major political parties continue to seek for a favourable condition for themselves. Over 5,700 COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country. Nearly 4,000 cases reported in Kathmandu Valley alone. Recovery rate drops to 95.1%. And at least 26 people killed and several others injured in a 5.3 magnitude earthquake in western Afghanistan. Four years after the formation of the Provincial Assembly, the name and capital of Province 2 have been endorsed with majority votes. With majority votes, Province 2 has been named Madhesh Province, while Janakpur Dham has been set as its permanent capital. At the Assembly, with 104 members, a total of 80 votes were cast in favour of Madhesh Province, while 19 lawmakers voted against it. Janakpur Dham received 78 votes in its support and 21 votes against it. And in this context, in our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces what was the reason for the delay in deciding the province name and capital of Province 2. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
यो सबभन्दा प्रमुख कारण भनेको मधेसी दल नै हो
आफ्नो दलको आफ्नै आडानले जुन खिचातानी भइरहेछ
मैले प्रस्ताव गरेकै कुरा हुनुपर्छ भन्ने त्यसमा अड्दाखेरि
अडानले गर्दा नै यस्तो समस्या देखा परिरहेको छ।
यहाँको राजनीतिक दलहरू गैर जिम्मेवार भएर हो
मधेसी दलको कमजोरी हो
एउटा दुर्भाग्य हो हाम्रो मधेसीहरूको राजनीतिक दाउपेच हो।
Contrasting arrangements in the constitution and laws and the polarization among political parties have led to uncertainties regarding the local level elections. The local level polls proposed by the Election Commission by mid-May remain uncertain as major political parties continue to seek for a favourable condition for themselves. More in this report.
Election dates for all three tiers of the government are drawing close. The Apex Election Authority had already recommended dates for the local level elections. However, the political parties are defining the contrasting arrangements of the constitution and laws to serve their interests. Despite being in the opposition, CP-UML appears to be more powerful than the coalition in all three tiers. The main opposition aims to validate its decision of dissolving the House of Representatives on two separate occasions with a win at the upcoming elections, especially during the presence of previously elected local representatives. However, the ruling coalition has a different understanding and approach for the elections. The Constitution has provisioned elections within 6 months of expiry of the term of those elected. This has left Nepali Congress in a state of dilemma as it requires to pay attention to the calls of the ruling coalition partners and cannot completely ignore the concerns of opposition CP-UML. Most parties in the ruling coalition are in favor of holding all levels of elections in one go. CP Maoist Centre, Unified Socialist, Janata Samajwadi and Rashtriya Jana Morcha have been urging Nepali Congress to declare election dates only after addressing the constitutional and legal dilemmas. They are of the belief that the delay in election caused by the same would assist in expanding their organization and to reap benefits of the ruling coalition power. Another reason for the dilemma regarding the election dates is the polarization within Nepali Congress in regard to the future of the coalition. These behaviors of the political parties are evidence to the weakening role of Election Commission and the compromising of periodic elections.
At a time when the local level elections are uncertain due to the dilemma between constitutional provisions and other legal arrangements, two senior leaders of the ruling coalition have agreed to proceed by following the constitutional arrangements. Prime Minister and Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Doba and CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Pushpa Kamal Dahal have agreed to proceed with the local level elections on the basis of constitutional provisions. It has been understood that yesterday's meeting of the two leaders held at Palwatar decided to brief the high-level mechanism formed to assist the government regarding the common opinion of the ruling coalition. Prior to this, lack of consensus had surfaced in the ruling coalition regarding holding all three tiers of elections at the same time. The main opposition, CPN-UML, has been firm in its stance of holding the local level elections by mid-May. An alarming resurgence of coronavirus is being reported across the country, with 5,747 new cases confirmed yesterday through RT-PCR tests. 3,939 cases were reported in Kathmandu Valley alone. Meanwhile, the death toll has climbed to 11,623 with 3 more fatalities. Likewise, 987 other cases were identified through antigen tests. Meanwhile, 547 individuals were discharged and the recovery rate has dropped to 95.1%. A total of 139 patients are undergoing treatment at intensive care units, while 26 corona patients are on ventilator support. With 29,705 individuals at home isolation, 1,172 are at institutional isolation. Following the alarming resurgence of coronavirus, the government has set a few criteria at public places. While crowded public places have been shut, health and safety guidelines have been made mandatory at other places. Police had fined violators last year. However, the government has not been able to provide masks for free, and the public are yet to follow the rules and guidelines. Police have been urging the public to use masks. Unlike previous waves, police have not fined those failing to put on a mask. With the objective of increasing public awareness, help desks have been instituted at 29 places in the Kathmandu Valley. However, the public refraining to abide by the health and safety guidelines is a reflection of how the public are ignoring the risks and threats of coronavirus. Last year, Nepal police had generated 4.48 million rupees in revenue from the fine paid by the public who had failed to put on masks. However, such an action has not been taken this year. The fine collected last year would have been adequate to distribute masks for free to those who cannot afford any. However, the government has failed in facilitating easy and free access to masks for those belonging to deprived communities, even in the capital, Kathmandu. The issuing of orders is not adequate, as ensuring effective implementation is even more imperative to curb the alarming resurgence of coronavirus cases. It's time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: what has led to the alarming resurgence of coronavirus cases? Your options are option A, inefficient combat efforts, option B, ignoring health and safety guidelines, and option C, poor access to vaccines. The voting is on. Type NAWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The direct impact of the effect of coronavirus on the economy is being seen on the government's revenue collection. Despite the Ministry of Finance publishing a report on relative increase in revenue this year than in previous years, the government has failed in achieving targeted income tax and value-added tax. The Inland Revenue Department had a target of generating 241 billion rupees by mid-January. However, the department has been able to meet only 92% of its target towards the income tax and 87% towards VAT. The drop in revenue of the private sector due to reduction in economic activities has been attributed to the reduction in revenue. The department has added that the reduction in revenue is also because of the rebates provided by the government to the private sector. Likewise, failure in ensuring the development expenditure has also led to the drop in revenue collection. It's time now for the sports news.
Sports News.
New Road team NRT secured a 2-0 win over Jalakal Youth Club in the Martyrs Memorial A-Division League match played yesterday. With the win, NRT have climbed to the 6th position in the league standings. The first half of the match had ended in a goalless draw. Darshan Gurung put NRT ahead in the 69th minute, while he completed his brace 4 minutes later to seal the 2-0 win over Jalakal. With the win, NRT have 13 points from 9 matches and find themselves in the top 6 of the league table, while Jalakal remain 10th with 8 points from equal number of matches played. With the completion of the 9th round of the league yesterday, the 10th round is scheduled to begin after 3 weeks. Machindra remain atop the league standings with 23 points, while Manang Marshangdi are 4 points behind in the second spot. Martyrs Memorial A-Division League side Machindra Football Club will play champions of Sri Lanka Blue Star in their first match of the preliminary round of the AFC Cup. Based on the draw made public yesterday, Machindra will play Blue Star on 5th of April. Winners of the clash will take on Mohun Bagan of India in the next round. Machindra will require 3 wins to secure their berth at the group stage of the tournament. Machindra is set to compete at the preliminary round of the AFC Cup for the first time in its history. Despite finishing as the league winners last season, Machindra could not play in the tournament in the absence of the AFC club license, while Tribhuvan Army had represented Nepal at the Cup. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.